Hello everyone, my name is Tamar. I am the servant of the ministry Tamar's Testimony, where the founder is the Most High God, the great I am that I am, also known as Jesus Christ, in the Hebrew Yeshua HaMashiach, meaning the anointed savior. Today's video is titled Kristy Sarah and Demonic Sexual Ritual. Kristy Sarah and Demonic Sexual Ritual. I've had two dreams about this woman. First dream was on March 17th, 2024. The other dream is March 20th, 2024. Originally with these dreams, I voice record my dreams because if I try to write it when I wake up, they're gone. So I voice record them. So I'll send a screenshot right here to show you the proof of the date and with the title. But I will be reading the transcription of this dream. So that's why you'll see me looking this way. I have my laptop. And I just want to mention this briefly. I talked about this before in the prelude, supernatural dreams, something like that. That was like the title. That I do a 3-tier test, and I had did like a little diagram earlier, well, a little shape or whatever, the triangle, and I put the most high at the bottom. You're gonna follow me. Most high at the bottom, Ephesians 6:12 on the top, and then me on the top. That's me trying to get to the root of the dreams. Where did the dream come from? So the first tier is myself. When it came to this lady, I was not a habitual stalker. I was not seeking out something to be wrong with her. I was not envious of this woman. I was not jealous of this woman. She was not constantly on my mind. What's Kristy Sarah doing? What is she doing? Maybe she's doing this. Just something about her is off. Something wicked is about her. I did nothing like that. Boom, mark myself out. We got 2 more tiers. Next one is Ephesians 6:12. The word of God says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, principalities, rulers of darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, why would the ruler of his kingdom, Satan, the dark kingdom, reveal a demonic sexual ritual, expose what one of his servants did behind the scenes? If you want to cause further deceit, you ain't gonna expose your plans. Now, it can be different in the standpoint. This is where you can get a little bit more different if this person was a spiritual figure, meaning a leader or fivefold ministry, something like that, and they can actually be doing good, and the enemy just wants to sow tears and confusion, and someone already in the heart posture is like, there's something just wrong with this fivefold minister, even though nothing's not wrong, but it can be just a disturbance in their spirit. They don't agree with what they're saying, all that type of stuff. So the enemy's like, okay, we got somebody right there that has a hole of doubt, and they're desperately wanting something to be wrong with them. Let's give it to them. Let's get them something. So then they come on a platform. I had the dream that this person was false. They did this. They did this. And then somebody else can confirm, I had a dream too like that. Well, there's multiple people that are wanting that fivefold minister to fail, that they dislike them. So if you want to cause confusion, you're going to add seeds in anyone that's willing to receive. You see any hole in the dirt of someone's heart, a hole is meant to be filled with a seed and then covered and watered. And many people will have that. So you get a dream. You get a dream. Like with this rapture dream. We'll be raptured on this date because people are desperately wanting to leave and not to face the tribulation like the word of God says we will face. I have a video on that. The falsehood in the rapture. The pre-trib rapture. Pre-tribulation rapture means being raptured before tribulation. Tribulation means great pressing, great affliction, great pain. That is the church's portion. You will not be raptured out of here before any of that. That's not for the, that's for people that's left behind. False. The enemy created that because many people had a hole in their heart, in this hole in the soil of their heart that desperately needed a seed of false hope. I won't be here for that destruction, the famine, the pestilence, these beings, these supernatural beings, the Nephilim. I won't be here for that. I can't be here for that. Jesus won't do that. But he will. But let me get back on task. So everybody has a dream about the rapture. It's coming this September. It's coming. Coming to a theater near you. Okay. So boom. Not me. Mark that out. Not Ephesians 6:12. Not that out. Next one is the Most High. Well, there's a scripture, I think, in Ephesians chapter 5. Yeah, I say Ephesians chapter 5, where it talks about to expose and to reveal the ways of the wicked or the darkness that they do. It's a shame to even talk about what they're saying, but they need to be exposed. Light needs to be shed on them. So that's what it is. And the interesting thing, I like Miss Kristy Sarah. I I wouldn't habitually watch her, but once you watch one thing, like on YouTube Short, that's even with TikTok or Instagram Reels. I don't really do Instagram Reels. That seems too difficult. But YouTube Shorts, you like one thing or you view one thing, another one. And she did like the, I don't say this offensive, she did the corny skits, the corny funny skits, those type of thing. I was like, oh, this seems like a funny, jolly lady. She got 2 sons. It seems like a loving husband. They seem cool. They seem legit. So I had nothing bad here. So I'm like, she funny. You know, she got my type of humor, doing what people say very stupid, corny stuff. That was, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay. It's just like, boom, let me just throw that out there to you. And my mind it's like, okay, all right, Most High. So I had this dream. I had this March 17, 2024. And March 20th, 2024. It's been a year. I didn't know. Like, there's no reason for me to, I had no reason to go up there. I didn't know why he gave it to me or whatnot. But it's to expose the works of the wicked. So here's the dream. Now, like I said, I voice record my things, so you might hear me say, but it's transcribed. Kristy Sarah in demonic sexual ritual. Dream dated March 17th, 2024. Good morning, Valencia. I usually do this. Good morning, Valencia. Today is March 17th. Woke up probably like 5 minutes ago and I had a dream. I had a dream that I was pregnant. Now, I can't tell you why the Most High used me as the vessel. That's just the point of view and perspective I had, so I could see everything that was about to happen. And I could see the belly and all this stuff that I'm about to go into. I had a dream that I was pregnant. Can't remember if it was actually me pregnant, but I was pregnant. And for some reason, I was also the H word that ends with horny. Whenever you want to engage into a sexual act, you were horny. Follow me. And it was like, I don't know. I saw this woman. I didn't know if she was Native Indian, Mexican, Hawaiian, whatever. She just looked like your average girl, and I wanted her to come fix it for me. Keep following me. So it jumps to the scene where she's like fully naked, and my belly's covered in dirt. Like, I could feel my belly, like I was buried under dirt. And whenever she would put her hand there, it's like I'm dilated, and it will make my belly grow like more and more. Like if you inhaled, exhaled, and you know how your chest rises, like my belly was rising. And every time now and then, I knew my body was under dirt because dirt would fall off the side of my belly because I'm inhaling and exhaling for what this young lady is doing. And Kristy Sarah was there too, and she was doing the exact same thing. And her husband Damon was there. He was in the background. And it was Kristy Sarah and this Indian Mexican type of girl. I can't remember the skin color of this girl. I can't. But there was, I think there was somebody else there too. But I can't remember who she was, and I believe I know who that is now. And yeah, then I remember looking at Kristy and I was thanking her for what she did because I was pleased. The desire was fulfilled, like it was finished. But she looked, when I thanked her, she looked at Damon. She turned around with a sad face and looked at Damon. And Damon looked at her with a sad face. And she looked back at me and she did, I try to describe the face, but this is the face she did. You know, when you really don't want to say you're welcome, but it's just a respect thing. Or you could be afraid of the punishment of not saying you're welcome. She was just like, and like I said, she looked sad. And then that was the end of the dream. And during this time, in 2024, March 2024, I said, yeah, I don't know if this is like a ritual or if it's on top of, or some type of witchcraft. I don't know, whatever, but it gave wishy woo. That was my discernment back then. Cause I was like, we got water, we got dirt, we got the sexual acts. This is adding up. The equation seems very evident here. The formula is formulating. Demonic sexual ritual. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I have instrumental worship music playing in the background just for myself, not for the video to sway or anything, emotions, because music can do that. That's not why I'm doing it. It's for myself, okay? If the Most High corrects me on that, then you probably won't hear it no more. But let's get to the symbolism of the dream. I was pregnant. Pregnancy can symbolize in a dream birth. Think about some things that happen in your dream. You got to think about what actually happens in the natural to help interpret your dreams. So in the birth, in physical, when you're pregnant, you're giving birth to something. It's new beginnings. It's something new. You're transforming into motherhood. You're transforming into something. So newness, birthing something new, transformation, just new beginnings, a new stage of life. Okay, I was birthing something. These 2 ladies had to do something to me. a sexual deed. They had to do a sexual deed to me for me to be fulfilled, to give birth to what they're seeking. They had to do a sexual deed to me, the one that's pregnant, under this water around me and dirt around me, had to do a sexual deed to me to get what they were seeking. And during this time and this age, if you don't know by now, when it comes to celebrities, when it comes to famous people, especially in the Hollywood industry, they have to do rituals in order to advance, to grow. They got to sacrifice something to grow. So boom, Miss Kristy Sarah is doing this demonic sexual ritual in order to advance, in order to birth into a new stage. Here's another thing. Damon was in the back. He saw what was going on. He was sad. She was sad. But he was okay with it. And she was okay with it. Not okay like, okay, we're hunky-dory, but because this is just a means to get what we desire. There's a scripture that says the love of money is the root of all evil, which also includes fame. The love of fame is the root of all evil. Because with fame comes money. I'm not sure if they came to a conclusion. I don't know who introduced the idea first. Someone came with me. Somebody told me this is how I get further. Babe, what you want to do? I don't know how that conversation went. But he's aware that she did a demonic sexual ritual in order to advance herself and also them. And he was okay with it. He saw it. He was sad. She was sad. But they were okay with doing it. If it gets us to the means or it gets us to what we need to do, okay. Now, I believe the other woman to be in this dream, because I said I believe there was somebody else there, to be the lady Her, the singer Her. Her name is Gabby. And they have some pictures together. I think they're best friends. And I remember, because I try to make this is my second time to get this video over. I remember I was thinking in my head, I was like, this lady has advanced out of nowhere. Like she was at the Oscars. It was the Oscars or Grammys or both. And I think she's been there twice now. Because I went on her social media page, I think a few days ago, because I was trying to figure out if I'm going to release this or not release this. And I was seeing her, and I was like thinking, I even said in this dream, and the second dream that I'll go into soon, that out of nowhere, she's just in the Oscars or the Grammys, whatever the award show is called. What did she do to get there? And that's not out of bitterness or jealousy or envy, nothing like that. But I'm like, what did she do to get there? Because usually, from what I've seen, it's actors, actresses, top singers, all that type of stuff. But influencer, social media influencer, that has you present in the Oscars, or she didn't get an award, I don't believe, but she was just there and it was like a big thing. And I'm like, what did you do to get so acknowledged? You know? And then I was scrolling on social media some more and I saw her do interviews or being around people that was like really famous. And I'm like, what has she done to get around these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Because Hollywood is a business industry. It's a business industry. In order to, you get certain level of access to certain doors, to certain people. If you are an admin assistant, you can't go all the way to the 12th floor to the big CEO and be like, hey, what up, yo? You can't do that. You need access. You got to do some things. You got to be promoted. You have to be promoted. You have to be advanced. Pregnancy in the dream. Giving birth to something. Transformation. So I kept seeking the Most High on this. Is like the lady that she's with, her best friend, was she the initiator? Was she the one that introduced? Because I remember I used to listen to her. She was a singer. Is she the initiator? Because she already got a little insides in it. Is that how things got connected? I haven't got confirmation on that. But I believe that to be the young lady that was also in the dream. And then when I saw a lot of social media pictures with her, and I think like I said, they're best friends, I was like, this is interesting. This is something. So I need to add this part in here, going back to the symbolisms in the first dream that I had with the pregnancy, the dirt, and the water. And in my dream, when I was saying that I believe this is some type of ritual because there's dirt, there's water, there's sexual acts, and it was just witchy woo. That's what I was saying. It's 2024. And so just earlier today when I'm making this video, which is September 18th, 2025, I was trying to look up on Google, like, okay, dirt, sex magic, water, whatever. And, Google will give you stuff to a certain extent if there's, like, quote unquote mediocre witches that make blog posts or anything like that. When I say mediocre, it's not let it be offense, but like the top witches, they probably wouldn't want to let you know that they a witch, you know, and make this post like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, mediocre, like people that might be starting out, entry level, whatever. I was trying to find that stuff, and you know, if it's really ancient sexual practices, Google not, it's not gonna be like your top thing. And be like, what you needed this for? Why are you looking for it? So I got what I could get. So there's an article called Dirt, Magic, and Spirituality, 6 spells using dirt for 3 different locations. And it was just showing me like the power of dirt. I was seeing that dirt, a lot of people use, if it comes to hoodoo, witchcraft, whatever, they use dirt as a means to connect the earthly, earthen spirits to spiritual spirits. Not earthen spirits, but like connect mankind to spiritual spirits. Like a lot of like ancestral religions, they would use dirt and all this type of stuff. So I was seeing this, I was like, okay, I need dirt and sex magic. Like that's what I'm looking for, like dirt and sex. Like what is going on? But anyways, I couldn't get stuff to a certain extent, but just keep up with me. So in this article, there was a subtopic called working with farm and garden dirt, and they were saying with these type of dirt, growth, fertility, and prosperity are all things that are associated with farm or garden dirt. I didn't care what type of dirt it is. I just needed dirt, prosperity. That's what I needed. I just needed that to be pinged to that. And so the spell was called Prosperity to Me spell. What is the whole heart of the whole root of this dream? Revelation. Wanting prosperity, the love of money is the root of all evil. She did a demonic sexual ritual in order to get prosperity, in order to get fame, in order to advance her and her husband. So the spell is called Prosperity to Me spell. Use this spell to attract prosperity to your life. And the materials used was farm dirt, which is used for prosperity, success, and money, and water. I said, boom, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. All right, that's fine. That explains the farm. That explains the dirt and the water and the dream. Then I saw another one. You could apparently buy this. It's called Lilith Ritual Dirt. I was like, what in the world? It's called Lilith Ritual Dirt. I heard of Lilith. I forgot how they try to put it into Christianity, or she was the wife of Satan, the wife of God. They were trying to do something. It was in blasphemous, whatever. So it's called Lilith Ritual Dirt, and this is the purpose of the intention of it. It says a potent substance used in initiation, and sex rites associated with Lilith. The sacred dirt carries energy, I'm going to skip on down, and making it ideal for magical workings related to sexual rites and personal transformation. One of the symbolism of pregnancy in a dream is birth. You're transforming into motherhood. You're transforming into something new. There's new stages of life. You're advancing. It's promotion. They use this for personal transformation. Use Lilith ritual dirt in rituals aimed at initiation into new phases of life or spiritual practices. Initiation into new phases of life. You want to go bigger? You got to do this. There's dirt around. Incorporate Lilith ritual dirt into your sexual magic practices to enhance your sexual energy, explore sensuality, and for enhancing your own feminine power. And when you look at her pages, boy, do you say feminine power. And you think about it, when this examining their relationship was publicly shown, all the fame and attention is on Kristy Sarah more than Damon. Yeah, he has his own channel. I saw he had his own channel. He does cooking. He's his own personal chef. They have a video production company, all that. But he's his own personal chef. You look at his numbers and you look at her numbers. She's the top gal. He was in the background of the dream. He knew what she was doing, but he permitted it. But yes, Miss Kristy Sarah has done a demonic sexual ritual in order for her to advance in the world. For both her and her husband, a well-known name. And it's sad. It is sad, because I was just like, what in the world? What? They do all this family-friendly stuff. What's going on? But, hey. So then we're going to get into the next stream. I don't think I forgot anything. If I did, I'll add it in here. So the next stream, it's not really a name. I just put Kristy Sarah, March 20th, 2024. I guess I'll title it Exposure of Kristy Sarah. Dated March 20th, 2024. I said, good morning, Valencia. Today is March 20th. It's March 20th, 2024, 7:16 a.m. I had a dream that I was in the house of Damon and Kristy Sarah. For some reason, there was other people living in that house, or they were just there to visit. Like, I remember seeing two other black ladies. And I remember I was going towards Miss Kristy. I was going to share, I believe, the dream I had with her. And when I went to her and I looked at her, she looked as though, like she was bougie. Like, are you coming to me? Or are you coming to me? Type of thing. Like, she didn't have time for me. And I was going to hug her, and she pushed me away, looking at me weird. And I said, of course, like, you're randomly going to hug somebody. Why would you? I'll look at you weird, too. And I took this as that I wanted to come in a friendly approach, because I didn't have no beef with this lady yet. I'm not gonna come to you and be like, hey, you're doing this. Like, I was coming in a friendly manner. So the hug, just like, hey, there's peace. I'm not trying to, well, it's not peace, but I'm not trying to, all that. And I said, Miss Kristy, I had a dream of you. And then she started to get sad. So, like, it was like a sad, happy sad. It's hard to explain it, but she was like sad. And apparently we hugged. And then once you get out of hug, like, you hold the arms. So after we hugged, I held her arms. And I said, can you, like, follow me? Because I wanted to talk to her outside. And I kind of whispered it. My voice was kind of shaky, I believe. I was nervous. I'm like, this is probably showing me in the spirit, like, how I really was. Because I'm like, I'm not a person that normally get dreams. I'm not a person that normally get exposure dreams to people. That this wasn't me. So I'm like, I don't know how this go. Like, this is not me. And I asked her, I said, are you doing something illegal? And she looked at me confused, ready to just let me go. And I told her what my dream was in short. Like, I had a dream about you doing something illegal or evil. And I think also I said, like, a ritual. And she looked at me confused, and she was very defensive. Like, she wanted me to leave. She wanted to leave me alone. And I remember some scenes jumping, because whenever I say scenes jumping, it's because this is stuff that I can remember. I know it was a whole big thing, but this is just certain things that I'm privy to remember. And I was still trying to talk to her. And I think she was walking behind me. And I bumped into, like, this flower, this vase type of thing. And it was falling. It was like, I could see, like, slowly falling. And I immediately turned around and I caught it. And she looked at me, like, it freaked her out. Like, how did she catch that? And for some reason, this is going to sound so corny, but it's interesting. For some reason, I used that to my advantage. And I said, if I knew that this was falling, why don't you think I know what you're doing behind closed doors? I'm going to say that one more time. I said, if I knew this was falling, why don't you think I know what you're doing behind closed doors? And it's like, I don't know, she got frustrated. And I remember we was on some stairs, and I might send a picture how that, like, kind of like how the stairs look. If you look down, like, there's a row of stairs, and you can look down the spiral, or like if it's a square shape, how the stairs are formed, look down, that type of thing. It's like she was trying to push me off that. She was trying to get rid of me. She was even to the point of, it doesn't even matter if you lose your life. This just cannot be dealt with right now. This cannot be exposed right now. You have to go. And I said, yes, this was Kristy Sarah. And I said in here how I kept questioning, like, how does someone make it, I guess, on the Grammys or whatever she is doing, and how she get all this stuff. And I was telling her, you are a funny lady and all this stuff, but how are you getting these promotions? And then your contact with her and all that stuff, I was pressuring her. It's like, I was really questioning her, because I was willing to know, like, how are you doing this and this and this and this? And I could tell I was pushing a button, but she wanted to push me off. I pushed a button, she wanted to push me off. Obviously that didn't happen, but she wanted to get rid of me. She doesn't want this exposed. But Miss Kristy Sarah, her picture here and her husband, all that, I'll put all that stuff here. Miss Kristy Sarah has done a demonic sexual ritual in order to advance and the endeavors she's doing to become famous, to become more famous. She has done a demonic sexual ritual to get there. And I had the first dream March 17, 2024. The second dream March 20th, 2024. Yeah. And that's the end. Prayerfully, when you hear this, of course, you go ask the Most High about this lady. Even though I did the whole test thing that I showed in the beginning, how I went through in my mind, it's still all right to go ask the Most High, what's all this about? What is she saying? Talk to me. Because he wants you to inquire. He wants you to seek him out on things Not just because like you know who a person is and like, oh yeah, they usually tell good things, or they usually tell the truth or whatever, so I'm just gonna cling to it. No, he wants you to seek it out. Seek it out. You're not gonna offend him if you seek him out on it. Just have a neutral position. Don't come there for him to approve your predisposition. So yeah, this is the end of the dream. And thank you, Most High, for being my stay. Thank you.